everybody. Welcome to the second edition of Paul's Picks. I'm Paul, your host, and we had such great reviews from our first show that showed a movie review of In the Line of Fire. They've asked us to do a second one. Who are they, you're asking? Hell if I know. Well, this time we're going to do a review of Last Man Standing. This is a film starring Bruce Willis and Christopher Walken, and a few others as well. Well, I'd say this film can be portrayed as a modern-day Western. He starts with trouble with a gang and he seeks revenge, you know. Very familiar plot line. And, of course, there's a crooked sheriff. Well, you can really much expect that. It might help to have a guest on the show. So, without further ado, I present the first special guest appearance on Paul's Picks, made by none other than King Shu. How you doing, King?
I'm doing fine. Well, unfortunately, I have not seen this movie yet.
You haven't seen the movie?
No.
Then what are you doing on the show?
Well, you told me to come on. I just want to clarify a few things. First of all, it is based on Fistful of Dollars, but Fistful of Dollars was based on a Japanese movie directed by Akira Kurosawa. The film was called Yojimbo, which had a follow-up, Sanjuro, I believe, and that was in the early 1961. So this was based on a Western, which is based on like a samurai movie. And I've seen other films by Walter Hill, so I'm pretty confident this film shouldn't be too bad. According to this, it says, one of the most exciting films of the year, according to Jamie Bernard, or amazingly outrageous. Well, Walter Hill we all remember from, I guess, 48 Hours. Another 48 Hours?
Yeah, I didn't see that one either.
Oh, you didn't see that one?
No.
Oh.
Okay, so what can you tell the viewers out there who have never seen or heard of Last Man Standing? What can you tell them to expect?
I can expect, well, what can I say, man? It seems pretty action-packed, pretty high-octane adventure. What else can you expect from Walter Hill?
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, thank you very much for your insight on the film, King. It's time for you to sit back and watch CUTV's presentation of Last Man Standing. Welcome back to Paul's Picks. That was CUTV's presentation of Last Man Standing, starring Bruce Willis and Christopher Walken. I have a few things to point out about the film you have just seen. First of all, as I said in the beginning, it comes out as a modern-day Western. It's portrayed as a modern-day Western. I say this because it was set in the early 20th century rather than the late 19th century. This was, of course, evident because they were using archaic cars instead of horses, as one would expect in a true Western. You must say that Bruce Willis, he continues to portray his tough man image. This was apparent from the Die Hard trilogy, the 3 Die Hard films, also in Pulp Fiction and the TV series Moonlighting. Bruce Willis generally tries to portray the same image in all of his works of art. Also, I'd like to think that the town was very well created, a fictional Hollywood town, but made up to look like a town of the Old West. The Last Man Standing, okay? You notice there's a lot of gunfights involved, as shown on the box, and even on there he's doing nothing but shooting people. Well, of course, it's called The Last Man Standing because everyone dies in the film. The French version of this film is called Le Mercenaire, and I think that's very well named as well, because he eventually becomes a mercenary. He starts off in the film as an innocent man who was roughed up a bit, but he actually does take money from the one gang of mafia men in order to kill other people that everyone had a grudge against. So He becomes a mercenary at first, and then later on he becomes a vigilante. And basically he knows that the sheriff is not going to do anything about it. As we said in the beginning, the sheriff was crooked. This idea, or this principle, is taken from the Rambo movies. I see a lot of similarities there. Rambo was unjustifiably arrested and beaten in the beginning. You know, a very similar turn of events in Last Man Standing. There's a constant pace of action that keeps the viewer interested. We've got to say a few things about the supporting actors. Christopher Walken is mysterious, but also charming, and he acts that way in many of the other films he's done, like A View to a Kill. You know, he can be a very funny character at times. You know. Also, Karina Lombard, well, you'd think this is an old-fashioned Western. She's going to be the traditional passive female, and sleeps with Bruce Willis and then double-crosses him. Out of $8, if I had to see this movie again, I'd give it $3.20. I know it's not a lot. That's because it didn't really generate the hype it was expected to, and it did not do as well at the box office. That pretty much does it for me. I'll catch you in the corridors. I hope you enjoyed CUTV's presentation of Last Man Standing, and I guess that's a wrap.